When I was scrolling through the small scenarios, I came over this one with this interesting name. How do you even pronounce it? Deluge? 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 Let's check.
Deluge, from French. It is a French word, originally said deluge, but in English, deluge, deluge, stress on the first syllable.
Wonderful, smooth and sultry French voice there. Deluge. Sounds wonderful. It apparently means a lot of something, most notably rain or water. But if you take a look at the map, there isn't really all that much water, and no shipyards either, so I guess we'll stay dry for this entire playthrough. Nice! Sailing is the worst part of HOMM3 anyway, and you can never change my mind about that. Anyway, as we already have the map open, let's take a closer look. We can play as either red or blue in relatively small starting zones, which are packed to the brim with juicy loot. Both starting towns start with a mage skill level 1, and both zones have access to a random relic artifact. Blue's relic is way closer to the road, but the road is comparatively longer and more winding. Blue also has a random treasure artifact right next to the town. Blue's portal takes them closer to the underground town compared to red as well, which could be an advantage. This time, the choice between the colors is quite difficult, but due to Blue's access to the treasure artifact, I'm going blue. Orange, the unplayable faction, is always castle and has a few creature dwellings available, which makes them quite a bit more difficult to deal with compared to red. And they even have a neutral second castle town nearby, meaning I have to be very quick if I want to avoid being overwhelmed by their army. How do I plan on being quick? Using the relic artifact, of course. The absolute fastest way to do this is to get some way to travel across the water, so I don't even have to venture underground. Optimally, this would be an air tome, spellbinder's hat, or maybe even angel wings. But to be able to cast any movement spells, I need spell points, meaning I have to get a spellcaster of some sort. The two best factions for this are Conflux and Tower, due to their magic heroes starting with 3 knowledge, and the third best is Dungeon, due to Mana Vortex. Dungeon has the highest spell power potential on the other hand, so you might say it balances out a bit. But having the spell points to cast Fly or Dimensioner is just half the battle. I still have to be able to win fights. This is where one of the coolest heroes in game comes in, Deemer. Deemer specializes in showering, the meteor variant. He smells good while destroying your army, the Deemer way. And let's be honest here lads, when the scenario name means a lot of rain or water, we gotta go for the shower hero, right? We have to stay thematic as often as we can, yeah? So the plan is going to be, look for a seed with a knowledge treasure artifact, collect a bunch of experience before going for the relic artifact, without even building Mana Vortex in town. Since I'm so close to orange, you might think I will take them on before red. You would be wrong. I'm going for red first. Why? Because I'm going to make them play dungeon as well, and take advantage of their Mana Vortex instead. Would this mean Tower or Conflux would be better? Maybe. Maybe you could try yourself to beat my time with either of them. Or maybe I'll revisit this scenario in the future, just to see. Anyway, dungeon, check. Deemer, check. Red as dungeon, check. All artifact bonuses, check. Let's dive into this and see how it goes. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And maybe even become a channel member. T. I enter the fight against the zombies to the west and reset once. This is the seed. Crappy starting army, but everything else is good. I pick up the helm of the alabaster unicorn, swing by the learning stone and get the XP from the chest, which gets me basic and then advanced intelligence. Good day one. I then just engaged the royal griffins with my army of just 40 troglodytes. I split them up to make the griffins behave how I want. Auto loses, of course, as this is a difficult fight. On turn 1, I use my one available meteor shower to take out 6 griffins, and then try to bait the remaining stacks down with a single 1 stack, using the other 2 as shields for my biggest trog stack. The griffins then take out all my 1 stacks, and I make sure to attack the closest griffins from the second leftmost hex, in order to not be hit by more than 2 stacks at once. This opens up the opportunity to magic arrow 1 2 stack before hitting the other 2 stack, taking them both out. The next turn, the final griffin died to retaliation. good and solid fight. From the nearby chest, I get enough XP for advanced wisdom, and also I don't mind using my entire mana pool as there's a magic well right next to me anyway. On day 3, I get more XP, netting me expert scouting, and I can see the artifact is angel wings. Not shabby. Before reaching them, I get more XP from another chest, which gets me expert wisdom. Now I just have to get the scholar in front of the wings, and he teaches me Dimension Door? Are you joking? When I first tested this seed, I didn't have expert wisdom, and the scholar then gave me +1 attack instead. I literally have never even considered that scholars teach different things depending on your wisdom level, but of course it makes sense. Why wouldn't a teacher teach different things to different students? Anyway, now I have free fly with the angel wings and access to Dimension Door. This is the god seed. I pick up the gold pile, which gets me enough gold to hire a second hero. I then Dimension Door just in reach of Malekith, who trades his harpies in exchange for troglodytes, so Deemer has more movement next turn. You might again be wondering, why not go for orange from the angel wings pickup spot? It's closer, and I could regen spell points in their town after taking it, right? The problem is spellcasting. If I DD down towards their town, I will only be able to cast 2 meteor showers, which might not be enough to take out their army to win. If I don't DD down in order to save spell points, the time loss is too big to justify not taking the other route. And finally, there's not even a guarantee I will find their main hero close to their main town instead of the neutral town, which just might be a complete run ender for me. The AI is a massive cheater, so I'm fairly certain it knows my army, spells and everything, and then calculates whether I am a threat to their towns and heroes, which I'm not with this pathetic army, meaning their heroes are more likely to explore away from their main. Since Red's zone is smaller, it should be easier and faster to go for them first. Getting a bit complicated here, let's just see how it plays out. Getting the Trogs back, I swing by the magic well again, and then DD into red territory, looking for any heroes I can find before going for their town. Finding Lorelei. Otto loses, of course, but he doesn't use Meteor Shower, so no worries bro. I have enough spell points to cast a few showers, and the first one goes on the biggest immediate threat, the Harpies. She then hits my Trogs with her Beholders and the Magic Arrow, taking out a bunch of them. I then just move as far away as I can, as I plan on using magic to win this fight, not might. Turn 2, her Harpies die to a retaliation, and her Beholders die to a Meteor Shower. She desperately tries to do whatever she can to damage me, but I have this in the bag now. Eventually, she moves her Trogs into my Trogs' reach, and I just take them out. Easy win. From previous attempts, I knew there was a high chance Lorelei was on the road, so it wasn't completely blind luck to find her there. Anyway, Red's town is up next, and I see their final, hopefully, hero way out of reach for me. This could be an issue. A time issue. The town is taken by using the advanced strategy of meteor showering once. Well played me. Which gets me expert intelligence. Nice. I upgrade the Harpy Loft so I can get Harpy Hags later to get speed priority over orange in fights. Day 5 and I build a Mana Vortex and upgrade the Harpies. I now have a massive 240 spell points with only 6 knowledge. Not bad. After flying over the mountains, Galthran somehow wins against Otto, so I guess he has a bunch of magic arrows to cast. 1 meteor shower later, and I find out that is indeed the case. 1 shower plus 1 magic arrow plus 1 hit from my Harpy Hags equals easy victory. On we march. Following the road south, I can barely DD outside Orange's town gates. My army is severely outclassed. Not by Cuthbert though. I get Spirit of Oppression from him, which is actually very nice. Tyrese guards the town, and she has a sizable army. Thankfully, she clumps up her archers and griffins, which lets me just shower away a large majority of both stacks. I then wait with everything, eventually moving my 2 Trog 1 stacks a bit forward to bait her creatures away from my power stack. The next turn, she has her swordsman and pikeman too close together, which lets me get another efficient meteor shower in. going really well so far. She then takes out both my 1 stacks of trogs and the 1 stack of harpy eggs, but she is still quite clumped together. Whether it's better to hit the swordsman or pikeman with the griffins is a tough one, but I eventually end up hitting the pikeman. I get rewarded though, as the swordies and pikemen both hit the catapult anyway, so I just meteor shower them the next turn, taking them all out. Just 6 archers remaining. They take out another harpy hag, but I think I'll survive. Due to my 5 power, 1 magic arrow is enough to take out the final few archers, and Tyrus is down. She was most likely their main hero, so the next turn I will have to look for the remaining ones, which will be easy with expert scouting and a spyglass and my excellent mobility. Looking like a day 7 win to me, which is not bad. So I end the turn chilling in their town, and then they just die to the neutral castle town. LOL. What a way to end. This means I've already won. Since it technically didn't tick over to day 7, this is actually a 6-day win. Hysterical ending if you ask me. 446 score, and yet another Archangel. I can't get enough of them it seems. With this one, I'm not sure I've taken the correct route, as I think there are many ways to beat this scenario quickly, so I would highly suggest this map if you want to try seed manipulating and routing for a speedrun. It doesn't have too many moving parts, so it should be possible to find many creative solutions. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. If you want, you can even become a channel member. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end, and I hope you have a might and magically good day. I hope to see you next time as well. Bye bye. A special thank you to all my channel members: Onufry, Sebastian Kopacz, Retarado Ricardo, Radnesorth, Milkman, Matt H, Seal Oil, Rick Vishaupt, and SQ Bani. Thank you very much. I appreciate you more than you think. Thank you so much.